When identifying levels, how far to the left to go? Win tag. That's a fantastic question. I'm glad you asked it. When you're looking to the left, okay, and I'll use Netflix as a perfect example. When you're looking to the left and you're trying to identify support and resistance, you go as far back to the left as you have to until you identify relevant levels that are close to the current price of the stock. Once you find those levels, stop. You don't have to keep going once you find those levels. And I'll give you an example. Let's go back. Okay. Let's go back in time. And let's say that today was, we'll just do an example. Let's say today was March 23rd. Let's look at Netflix's chart, right? Here's Netflix's chart. Let's say it's March 23rd. In order to identify support and resistance zones, we're going to look back to the left. Well, how far back to the left do we have to go until you find relevant levels? Now, when I look at this chart, I'll tell you real quickly where my support levels are. There's support level 1 and there's support level 2. Okay. Support level 1, you can see right here, very simply, and you'll see a little previous resistance right here. And then obviously this low of that little reversal, that's going to be another potential level of support. So there's going to be your 2 support levels. Where are your resistance levels? This is going to be very simply here, 1, and then you're going to have here 2. Okay. And these are going to be your two resistance levels. Here's previous resistance right here. And then here's a little bit more steady structural resistance here, about a 2-week long resistance. So now that I've just done this, right? How far back did I have to go? I literally only went back a month and a half. Right, to find all 4 of these levels. Now I just found for you 2 levels, 2 support, 2 resistance that are relevant to the current share price of Netflix. That stop. I don't have to keep going all the way back and say to myself, okay, well, let me keep going. And then I got to start looking at, well, here's support, and then here's support, and then it looks like there was resistance here, because before you know it, you have 97,000 lines drawn on your screen, and it becomes far too complicated for you to actually figure out what the hell is going on. And you're looking at support and resistance levels that are no longer relevant. You go as far back left as you have to until you find relevant levels. Now that Netflix has broken beneath those support levels, well, now look where the share price is. Now we have to start looking back to the left. But what happens when we start looking back to the left? We don't see anything. So we got to keep going. Do you see anything yet? Nope, I still don't see anything. What about now? Nope. So we got to keep going. What about now? Nope. We got to keep going. What about now? Nope. We got to keep going. You go as far back left as you have to until bang. Now we found some structure. So now we can start to zoom this in and we can start to say to ourselves, okay, here was, let me delete this. Here was a previous support level right there around the low 290s. You can see that this previously was a level of support. So now we would expect that to become resistance. And as we look back here further to the left, you'll start to see a nice level of support here on this reversal back there around 253. And then once you get beneath that, you're looking at your final kind of line in the sand here. And this is actually a major support level for Netflix. It's around $230. And that's going to be right here. And then that is also going to be this gap. Okay. So you realize, look how much further back we had to go. You went from 1.5 months, but now that the price has changed, you got to go as far back as you have to until you find relevant levels. And that's it. Now we stop. Those are my levels for Netflix. Okay. You don't have to keep going all the way back for all eternity for as long as the company's been public. Great question. A lot of people do this wrong, and you'll learn how to do this with True Trading Group. I promise you guys, you will learn how to properly identify support and resistance levels. If you can't properly identify support and resistance, you are never going to be able to properly identify buying zones, take profit zones, stop losses. If you can't get that part right, you're going to have a very difficult time becoming a profitable trader. I promise I'll teach you guys that as a member of True Trading Group.